Hello, I am Annie without Konstantin one more time, and you are watching another episode of, updates. As you might be able to tell, I am not currently at the zoo or on any other adventures. I wanted to be, but best laid plans. This has been a pretty busy and eventful week. Konstantin is actually on his way back to Germany already, a few days early, because the situation in Israel was getting a little less than comfortable. And I just can't stop thinking about what an incredible place of privilege we live in, to say, things are getting less than safe here, we're gonna go back home. And beyond that, the reality that so many people on this earth live in situations that are not safe, that are not good, that are not healthy, that are freaking terrifying. And they don't have the option to just, get on a plane and go somewhere where it's safe. I'm not going to try to solve global politics in this here update video, but if there are elections near you, at any time, ever, go and vote for kindness, vote for not selfishness and fear, vote for helping each other and being good humans. And considering the current state of the world with, the refugee crisis and everything, even your local elections have a global impact. So go do that, please. I, meanwhile, in my little privileged existence, I don't have finished scripts for you yet. I am working on those. What I do have is life hacks bundled into little packets of cards and things that are going to be turned into actual scripts here very, very soon. But I think I do have the plan for the next depression and anxiety life hack episodes pretty well laid out. So I thought I'd go ahead and tell you about the episodes that I have in my head and the topics that I'm thinking about, and then you can tell me what you think about that. Tell me about all the topics that I'm missing that you'd like to see covered, and for all the topics that I'm telling you, just go nuts and share with me all of your thoughts and inspiration and your life hacks, and just vent at me about your experiences so that I can, extract inspiration from your experiences and make the life hack episodes even better. So here we go. Episode 1 you've already seen, which is on emergency coping, including a link right, here. Episode 2 is already written and in the process, and that will be on everyday maintenance, about, living with brain weasels when they're not currently trying to set your mind on fire, but still being kind of annoying. Episode 3 you've also already seen, which was about coping with brain weasels over the holidays, which I'm posting a link to right, here. And this is where things start to get exciting. For episode 4, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull up an issue that I think I want to cover before we get even deeper into the topic, and that is the positive angle. So much of psychology is focused on what is wrong with you. But we're going to focus on the positive approach to mental health. We're going to focus on really the things we gain from our brain weasels, because while they're pesky little assholes and I would be happy to live without them, they do give us, me, you, different insights into life. They give us a different perspective. And something I want to focus on more, so we're going to do an episode on it. Episode 5 then is what we had planned before, which is going to be how to help a person struggling with depression and anxiety. And that will be both what you can do to help people and what you should say, words, phrases, good ways of expressing your concern. Then I think for episode 6, we're going to go to the negative, because it's a big part of that too. Understanding how you can help someone is great and is really important, but what you also need to know is kind of the lines of where you stop being helpful, where you're still caring and you're trying, and we get that, but you're not helping. So we're going to do a whole episode on what not to do and what not to say to a person struggling with depression and anxiety. Following that, is kind of a logical consequence of, how to help someone, is how to let yourself be helped, which is incredibly difficult, it turns out. Episode 8 will be all about productivity with brain weasels, so about dealing with depression and anxiety while at school or on the job. That episode is actually straight from a comment from one of our viewers, so you see, we're very impressionable. Potential episode 9 is going to be about treatment options, and that is going to be about, understanding the great wide world of drugs and medicine and electroconvulsion and all of that, but it's also going to be about different approaches to therapy. For that episode, I am actively seeking out doctors and professionals and other people who can help me out with that, because I am so not qualified. And then I think episode 10, though it's very possible that I'm going to move it up to sooner, is going to be getting to know your brain weasels. It's going to be about, the initial self-diagnosis. It's going to be about understanding whether or not how you feel and how you think is, just perfectly normal and you're having a bad day, or might actually be a matter of depression, of anxiety. And then another thing I'm starting to brainstorm and plot out already is going to be the short film, which will be a fictional format. So that's not going to be me talking at a camera. It's not going to be a documentary sort of style thing. It's going to be an actual fictional short film, an actual story. And we're going to use all of the cool tools and abilities of filmmaking to actually paint an accurate picture that is not, sad piano music and black and white images and someone staring wistfully into nowhere because they're so sad. Because that is a terrible image of mental illness that is not at all accurate and shows one, tiny facet of what we go through. And that is detrimental, and that is so prevalent in all of media, and it pisses me off every time. So we're going to do something about it by making a short film that, doesn't do that. And that actually helps people who don't have, the privilege of having the inside perspective on depression and anxiety to understand what it's like and what the world really looks like through the lens of depression and anxiety. So, yes, I'm going to put a list of all the topics and subjects that I talked about in the doobly-doo. And again, it is now your job to talk to me, to tell me what you think about the topics that I provided, to tell me about all the topics that I missed that I haven't thought about yet that you would like to hear about. And then, of course, the details. So any of these topics that strike a nerve with you, talk to me about them. And you can use whatever means of communication you like. I'm going to include all of them in the doobly-doo. So, epiphanies. Epiphany. Just one, because it's just me. So this week's epiphany, I guess, is kind of the logical flip side of last week's epiphany, which I suppose it sort of had to be. I was almost kind of sad that Konstantin is coming back a little earlier because, well, mostly because I was planning on using the shoebox all weekend to hide from the world and write, to just be in a little tiny box that has everything I need and nothing more. And it's been kind of nice to, rock this show by myself. And so this week's lesson, I think, is the incredible value of being by yourself and of working alone. Because there's a particular kind of focus, there's a particular kind of intrinsic motivation that you can only get when you're doing things by yourself. And there's a lot of strength in that. I really like working with a partner, and I love and I need to surround myself with other intelligent, inspiring people who are doing incredible things. I can do a whole lot by myself. I can sometimes even do better things by myself. So today is not about tackle hugging your partner. Today is about tackle hugging yourself. Almost forgot. Need to do a random bit at the end. Don't have a random bit for the end. Just sitting here now, talking at you. I think I want to use this end screen to talk to you about the end screen. So every week, as I'm finishing up, the upload and doing all the annotations and doobly-doo and all that stuff, I try to find a good link that fits the essence of the video, that just expands on what we talked about, that features some inspirational something, or that's just plain frickin' hilarious. Every week, I sit here and I ponder the This Too Is Nice box and try to find you something nice. And every week, I wonder if anyone ever clicks on the This Too Is Nice box. And now I'm realizing while I'm talking about it that I have no idea what to do for the This Too Is Nice box today. So I better find something that is incredibly awesome and inspirational and funny and smart and topical. Let's just agree to never talk about how much footage there is of me trying to say hello and failing. Hello!